if you recognize that in your own lives. And so what I would do with them is, because our school was also faith-based, I could integrate faith into anything that we did. Math, science, literature, whatever it was, we would find ways of integrating our faith in. And so many of these kids had a little bit of a faith background already. So I would tell them, God tells us to mind our own business. And they would say, no, he does not. That's rude. He would never say that. And then I would open up the Bible and I'd go, check it out right here. So I would take them to the place where it says, mind your own business. Now, this was in the context of working quietly, doing our own jobs, staying in, we say it this way, stay in our own lane, right? That's the way we say it today, to be nice to each other. Stay in your own lane. It's a nice way of saying mind your own business. So I was telling everybody to stay in our own lanes. In the context of the staff, I was saying this because as I have integrated in 3 months, 90 days, I think tomorrow, if I make it, I'll be here for, that's the threshold, right? You get 90 days and you're like, you're in. They got to have a good reason to fire you after that. So I was just sharing with them, like, as I've integrated into the community here, I've realized that, yes, I always stay in my lane. I don't go into culinary and say, hey, you know what you should do? Because I'm the chaplain. I stay in my chaplain lane. However, I do go into culinary to say, how can I be supportive of you, right? We do have this tagline here that says, loving kindness. And so I've recognized that this transcends my little chaplain lane and allows me to go into culinary or other departments and say, how can I support you? How can I be of support to you? Maybe it's through prayer. Maybe it's for cleaning up the coffee machines as we were doing this morning. Whatever that may be, to help support one another. And so I say that to you all, not to say stay in your own lane, but to say here we are, a community that confesses we are a community that wants to show loving kindness to one another. And so may this be a time, this meeting and beyond this meeting, where we take that with us, that we show loving kindness to one another. So thanks for letting me share.
All right, well, thank you for that, and I hope that you show me loving kindness. No, you can ask me anything you'd like. I might not answer. All right, so we will start the presentation. I wanted to just share that we introduced the Wellbeing Experience model back in November. Any of you attend that presentation? We have a handful. Well, we're hoping that that model will stick, and we know it's going to stick, actually. And we are in phase 1 of the new model, and we encourage you to take a look on your K4 app, because on the app there are shortcuts that will allow you to access phase 1. And part of that is meeting with our dietitian, meeting with the nurse practitioner. There's a variety of individuals that you would meet with to actually have an assessment performed, which will help you see your baseline, and then you can plan for well-being. So we hope that you will jump on the well-being bus and join us. And as we go through the well-being model and introduce the different phases, we are going to be having a small committee, and we had 3 residents who raised their hand to say, I'd like to join the committee. And then we'll have some team members on that committee, and that will help us better communicate what well-being actually looks like. So more to come on that, but just wanted to recommend that you take a look at the K4 shortcuts and find in there the assessments and try 1 or 2, see how you like it, and join that bus. Part of the well-being model is the SICA challenge, and some of you I know are on that, are participating with the challenge. It ends March 20th. And shortly thereafter, we'll be announcing some of the winners. The SICA challenge is basically a body composition challenge designed to help you get motivated and make some positive changes, whether it's in fitness or with eating, choosing better foods. And at the end of the challenge, We're going to look at the body composition to see who scored the highest, who actually improved their body composition. So that is March 20th is the end of that challenge. And throughout the year, we'll have different challenges related to well-being. So this is the first of many to come. When we finish the challenge, we are going to have a group presentation or celebration to honor those who actually stood up and actually got on the Sika scale. I did not, but I would like to, but I'm afraid Felipe will be like, ooh, you need some work, and I'm not ready yet for that, but I should be. So thank you for participating in the first challenge, and more to come along the way. Now, we had a presentation recently on the new wellness home services that are actually being brought into our campus. And just in a nutshell, we have two different home health programs. One is private duty home services, and then we have the Medicare home health services. Now, Medicare Home Health Services is a separate company, organization, that offers Medicare Part A home health services. So, for example, if you are in the hospital and you come home, you opt to go to your apartment versus going into Willowbrook Court, you might qualify for Medicare Part A home health services. And ACTS has a home health program through Medicare that they can provide either skilled nursing in your home or therapy in your home as you recover. So that is one branch of our home services. The other one is called Wellness Home Services, which is the private duty aid branch, which is a fee-for-service program. Originally, that program was set up as a separate licensed home health agency, but effective January 1st, the home health agency dissolved, and we are actually providing private duty home services internally. So we will have private duty aides available on site for you to access. With that change, we have a new office, which was just recently repainted, and we're getting ready to move the home services into that office. That is across from the primary care suite, which is where Cheryl Homer is. Anyone confused by that? There's a lot of moving parts, but the good news is the home service program will be on site. You'll get to know the staffing coordinator. We will have one staffing coordinator full-time here. We do offer 24/7 on-call service, so should you need home services, you can call, and they will call you back if they don't answer right away. But they will call you back 7 days a week. I encourage you, when we actually have the office moved from the regional office here, we're going to have an open house. I encourage everyone to come, get to know the staffing coordinator. We also have Colleen, who is the nurse manager, and she actually is overseeing the program both at St. Andrews as well as Edgewater from a nursing clinical perspective. Now, the home service program is under Melissa Pelhano, who is our Willowbrook Court administrator, and many of you already know Melissa. So we're really glad that Melissa's going to be overseeing the program. We will have the open house in the very near future. Please join us. Come, even if you don't ever think you'll use the program or need private duty service. We'd like to show you where the suite will be. We will have walk-in hours designated where you can have minor services provided, and we can describe that during the presentation with the open house. We will have some handouts that we'll share with you as well. Those services are fee for service, however. So if you go in for one of the services, you would pay a fee for service. It's not billable to your Medicare or your supplemental insurance. All of those charges are in your ancillary fee schedule, which you received back in November. So you can pull that out as well. But we will provide all of that to you during the open house. With that, I'm going to stop for a moment and see if you have any questions, because that is quite a change, and some of you were at the meeting, others were not. So I want to give you a chance to ask questions. Ellen, and we have a mic. Chris is going to bring you a mic. We know that.
Thank you. Regarding the walk-in clinic, that is tough if they are busy doing something else. My feeling is they should be able to make an appointment to go in sometime during the day. But that clinic's getting very busy because there are so many more people living here.
Right. So the primary care suite is like a doctor's office, except we have a nurse practitioner, and that's where Cheryl is. And we ask that you make appointments to see Cheryl. Typically, you would call, and let's say you have a cold or you have some symptoms of a cold. You would call. Megan typically answers the phone. She's going to ask you a few probing questions, not because she's nosy, but because she's trying to find the right amount of time for Cheryl to see you. So if, for example, you have a cold, you explain you have cold-like symptoms, she's going to find a 15-minute, maybe 30-minute slot for you to see Cheryl. We recommend that you call ahead of time, because if you come down, you might be sitting for a while, and then you're aggravated, we're not able to accommodate, and then you feel even worse because you haven't felt good to begin with. Now, the wellness home services, the walk-in program there is different in that they're going to be providing other types of services. If it's something that you would typically go to see your doctor for, you would see Cheryl. So it's kind of different. So primary care is like a doctor's office. That's Cheryl, the nurse practitioner. The wellness home services, they can do blood pressures. They can do a check your blood sugar. They can, I'm trying to think of other, I'm looking at Bob because he's well versed in it. Ear drops, eye drops. There are charges for all of those except for the blood pressure. So you could come down during those walk-in hours and get your blood pressure taken. We haven't identified what those hours are yet, but we're going to be figuring that out, and then we can adjust that along the way. And the reason why we'll have specific hours is that Colleen, our nurse manager, she would be in the building during those hours. So between those hours, she's out, she's visiting residents, she's signing people up for private duty aids. So we have to set those hours. I think Judy has a question.
The Wellness Home Services Program, are those people, the nurses there, going to be able to come to your apartment at all, if required? I mean, it wouldn't be in every case, but sometimes it might be.
So typically, no. It would be a walk-in service, so you would come down for services. But if you have private duty aides, we'll sign you up, and then we'll come set that schedule up with you, work with you, see what your needs are. So think of it like a private duty aid service, but we also have walk-in hours where you can come in and see a nurse.
Okay, I'm just thinking of, we needed a few months ago, when the Wellness Home Services was a private entity, they came to your apartment, and I'm a little confused as to the difference between that service and this one.
Right. So they would come to your apartment. So we would sign you up. So let's say you just returned from the hospital, you use Medicare Part A for therapy, but maybe you need someone to help you with showers. That would go through the Wellness Home Services, and we'd set up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whenever you would like your showers, and they would come to you for a fee for service.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have two questions. One was about Cheryl. Will she be working with just people who have her as their primary care, or will she be open to see any resident here?
So she's like a doctor's office. So if you're not her patient, she wouldn't see you unless there's an urgent care need. So in other words, you typically, if you have an outside physician, you would typically go see your own physician. But let's say you have a cold or you have your stomach's upset or something that's more urgent, you would call down and say, I'd like to make an appointment with Cheryl. She's going to bill your insurance just like a doctor's office.
All right. The second question is, and I guess I have to use an example. Should you have a fall in your apartment and you're feeling a little dizzy, you're not going to be able to get down to building C or an A. And what do you do at that point? I know at one point I called 911 on my own, and I was chastised for that I had to go through the services here before I called 911. What happens when you have a problem, you cannot get down to the clinic? What then?
Okay, so if you have a medical emergency like you fall or you're having an issue, maybe you're having chest pains. If you feel it's life-threatening, always call 911 first, then push your pendant alarm second. So if it's life-threatening or you don't know but you feel like it could be, dial 911 and then push your pendant if you have it available. If you don't, 911's going to be coming, to here, and then we're going to know 911's here to see you. So pendant alarm you push if you have an urgent, health issue that you can't come down and it's emergency in nature. If it's life-threatening, we recommend 911 plus the pendant alarm. Okay, and if you push your pendant, we're gonna call first. If you don't answer, we're gonna come up to the apartment. So we call because a lot of times people will accidentally push their alarm and then we've wasted time, coming up. With the nurse, we'll call first if a lot of times it's a false alarm. Judy, there's a mic coming.
Supposing you have your own private physician, but you get an earache, can you go down to Cheryl and she'll take care of it?
Yes, so you would call Megan and explain that you have an earache, you're not going out to see your physician, and try to get an appointment with Cheryl.
Okay, and there's no fee for that because
she's going to bill your insurance. So whatever your insurance doesn't pay, there could be a fee, but typically she's just like a physician's office.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. I have one other question. I mean, I love living here. It's wonderful. Everybody's great. But we have the worst telephone system here. I mean, it is horrible. I don't know why you changed it. It really is hard. It rings and it rings and it rings. Nobody picks up. It doesn't go to the gate. The gate doesn't have a private number that you could call the gate, if you want somebody to come in. I mean, it's just very frustrating.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have heard that, and I will, once a month, I have a phone call with the IT division, and I'll put that on my list that residents feel like it rings too long. And what I don't personally like about it, I shouldn't publicly share, but when I call in, because often I'm calling to let security know something, you hear that lady come on, and then she said, wait while I transfer you. And I'm like, why do we have to hear that? So that's my question, if we can eliminate that, that's one less, pause. And I don't know if we can because it's a computerized program. But I will find out, and I will add to the frustration. I'll add that on the list. And we have behind you, there's a question. Sandy?
Susan, are the hours of the primary care services going to stay the same?
They are.
9 to 4? 9 to 4, because at one point I thought I read something that said 4:30, and I wanted to
No,
ask.
4 o'clock.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, Judy has one other question.
I'm concerned about the security at the front desk. Sometimes there's no one there, and people come in the door and they stand there, and if nobody's there, they just walk in.
Okay, so we'll get to your other questions, but any questions related to the wellness home services? Okay, and I'll touch on that once we're done with the formal presentation. Okay, so I wanted to share that there is going to be a video presentation coming out. And many of you who lived through COVID remember that we had a lot of videos that came out, and they typically were called In the Know. Well, there's a new In the Know, and it should be out hopefully this week, if not by tomorrow, I believe by next week. And basically, this video is going to be sharing that we have a new resident contract that will be rolled out this year. The new resident contract is called the New Wellness and Care Contract. And this is for all new residents. So it doesn't affect you, but you're going to hear about it, and it might confuse existing residents. This new contract will be highlighting a new concept called My Axe Wallet, and typically what that will mean, and the video will talk further about this, but the residents will pay, the new incoming residents are going to pay a fee, a monthly fee, and part of their fee structure includes this My Axe Wallet, which will allow them to pay a la carte for culinary. So they will no longer get one meal per day. They'll get whatever they eat per day. So that's why we added the a la carte menu pricing, because the new contract is going to a wallet component. It will have a feature in the new contract. And that's because the market is asking for that. They want more flexibility in how they eat, how they dine. There will be a portion of that wallet that can be used for other things other than culinary, but it's a small portion. We still believe that people should eat together and come down and have social interaction. So the My Axe Wallet, most of it is for culinary, but a portion of it can be used for housekeeping or for other services. The video will explain it further, but just wanted to share that this video, when it comes out, please watch it because it will give you more information. You're going to have friends who live on the outside of our four walls, and they're going to be asking you about it. And I want you to be informed so that you don't feel like you didn't know about it. And Axe is taking the time to create a video to share with the existing residents so that there's no confusion. It does not impact your contract. There will be eventually a way for you to opt in if you want to change your contract, but you will actually pay more monthly. So likely most of you will not be interested in joining the addendum that will be offered down the road. Currently, we are applying in the states that require approval for all the contracts with the agency that oversees our industry. And here in Florida, that's the Office of Insurance Regulation. So they actually have to approve the contract before we use it, and it hasn't been approved just yet. But this is coming down here and at at all the campuses, but wanted you to know when you see In the Know video, please take the time to watch it. I was hoping it would be out today, and I would show it to you as a group, but it's not out yet, but it is coming. Any questions, Maren? It will be on. It'll be on I-95. It'll be on Channel 95. You can see I commute to work. Channel 95 as well as K4. And we have a question up here.
Okay, so what we have in our contract right now is here to stay.
That's correct. Yeah, it doesn't impact your current contract, but you're going to hear about it, and then incoming residents will pay a la carte pricing
And
for their
one does
meals.
have the option to change over down the road if they
You
would-
might,
if they
and
would.
I don't know that financially you'll want to, but
Yeah, correct, exactly.
you can take a look at it
Gotcha.
once they roll that part
Okay,
out.
thanks.
Okay.
Will new residents have the option of buying in or renting?
So the rental program, we only have about 25 rental programs available. So once we reach 25, we do not offer that. So that's very limited on our campus. And I know we're at least at 25 or 20. We're really close to that number. So that only is offered when we don't achieve the 25. Judy?
Yeah, I thought I heard you say that under the new contract, they'll have more choice, and that was about the menus. So will they have the same menu as we have?
Yes,
It'll
they'll
be
have
just
the
the
same
same.
menu. It's just a la carte pricing.
Okay.
So that's why we have the pricing now on the menu to get everyone accustomed to seeing it on the menu.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to just speak about the Communications Committee, and Bob Taylor is our chair. We have been really hard at work trying to figure out how we can better communicate, and we have a lot of great ideas. And one of the ideas is that we will begin to publish our minutes so that you'll see what we're talking about. And then as you read those minutes, you might have, sorry. Okay, let me silence my phone. So as you read the minutes, you might have some ideas, and then you can reach out to any one of the members, and you'll see the members listed on the minutes, and you can let someone that you might know on the committee know about your idea and how we can better improve communications. One of the areas that we're going to be you'll begin to see is that on a weekly basis, we are going to have a forum mailing. This is kind of what it looks like, but it will actually be in the body of the email, and it's called the Edge Weekly. And it doesn't show everything that's happening here at Edgewater. It will just highlight the things that are different or unique that you might consider joining. So this will come out every Saturday, I believe, and it will show from Sunday through the following Saturday what are the highlights here. So that's going to begin March 1st, and that will be on the forum. If you are not on the forum and choose not to be on the forum, we will have this posted by the in-house mailboxes. So every week this will be posted. You can quickly look at it. But we luckily will have Roz still posting the daily events. So she'll be doing that. So every calendar item is posted by Roz. So we're grateful to you, Roz, for all your work, but we're adding an additional layer of communications, but we're not going to post it everywhere. We're going to have it at the mailboxes and also on the forum. We will likely have it on K4 as a shortcut, so we're going to look at K4, so there's a shortcut so you can click that shortcut and find the highlights for the week as well. So that's one thing. Beginning March 1st, we are also no longer going to be putting the flyers on Channel 95. They will, however, be on K4 as well as on the bulletin boards. So 95 will be used only for live streaming, movies, special programs that we might show, because we're actually moving away from Channel 95, and we're going to be using our AX television channel that will be coming to a theater near you sometime in May. Likely the second week in May, we'll begin to go door to door to install the equipment that's needed for you to watch our new AX television station. And I think Elliot and Mary have a comment or question. We'll start with Mary first. Sorry, Elliot.
I'm sorry. What the sheet you just showed, is that not going to be also in the journal? Are you duplicating it?
The journal will continue, so you will still see the journal.
But what's on that sheet is not in the journal?
Most of it will be. Yeah,
Oh.
Bob, do you want to add?
Okay.
A lot of the things that are in the journal at the beginning of the month, a number of things are changed, right? And so we want to provide to you. All right. Okay. We want to make sure that you have every week the latest listing. It certainly will highlight changes. We can't highlight everything. And Ellen knows that there are a few of you who can be relied upon every month to say, I didn't know about that. So we're giving you reminders every week as to the highlights of the weeks to come. For those of you who do something, have an activity that is the same each and every week of every month, those probably won't be highlighted. All right, so this is an attempt to make sure you have current information on activities and events that are coming up. But on all the things we do, we're interested in your feedback. And if it's not quite right, let us know and we'll change it, okay? Thank you.
Is the schedule for the existing 95, will that be on K4?
The schedule, I'm not sure. Do you mean the flyers that go through?
No.
Okay.
What time are, for example, this is on 95 on a schedule. I'd like to know when it's available. Is that scheduled to be on K4?
It's already on K4. I believe you just hit, there's a, I don't have my phone set up right now. It's for some reason. It's on there now. K4 has all the scheduled events.
Yeah, on the I-95 question, from what I understand, if one has a smart TV, the new equipment does not have to be installed. Is that right?
So on the new AX television station coming up, if you have an Apple TV, I believe, or a Google TV, you can already access the channel.
What do you mean by a Google TV?
So I'm not technical in it so much to explain that, but there are specific televisions that you can already access AX television, and we can look at yours in particular and see if you have it.
Okay. Because it was my understanding that if one did have a smart TV, it was not necessary to install the new.
I don't know that all smart TVs, do you know, Bob? I'm looking at the expert here. I don't know that all smart TVs have the capability. We would just have to, that's correct, yeah.
Okay.
We would have to look at your individual TV.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. All right, and so with that, the Communications Committee next month asks the director, we hope to do a presentation on where we're at, where we're going. We're going to introduce some other wonderful things that we hope to do to improve communications. And we were going to be posting the minutes, so read them, please. And if you see anything that jumps out at you, ideas, we want to be inclusive because we want to improve communications. Myra? I think any committee, and we talked about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Myra's asking, are all committees going to be publishing their minutes? And we spoke about that, and I said in the meeting, in deference to you and your board, that's your decision. If you want to publish them and put them on the forum, or if we end up having a way to do it that's easier, that has a link, we haven't figured those details out yet, but if you want to post yours and publish them, by all means. I think the more transparent we become, the better informed we all are. So I think go back to your board, talk to your board, and then you all make that decision on your own. But our committee decided it was important to be transparent.
And tomorrow or the day thereafter, the rest of the community ought to have minutes from this meeting, okay? And for those of you who might be interested in doing it, I'm recording this right now on my phone. When I get back to the apartment, it will be in a transcript, text form. In a matter of minutes, I will put it into ChatGPT, and we will have a summary, right? We did it last week for the wellness thing, and we posted on the forum a summary of everything from the wellness. So what I'm saying, it's not highly technical, and I'll be happy to work with anybody who wants to try it, but it's relatively easy now to get minutes of a meeting, okay? So if anybody needs some help, I'll be happy to try.
Great. Thank you, Bob. Okay, and so related to communications, and some of you already know this, but our journal is now digital as well. And we have a link on K4 that brings you right to the website that has the journal. And the good news is we're going to upgrade the link. We're actually going to pay. Right now we have a free trial version, but it's a small fee. We're going to pay for ads-free link. So when you go into the journal, you will not see all those ads that are sort of bothersome. So March, you should see one that's not, that doesn't have ads. So we're hoping to bring that to you, and it will be posted very shortly. And we also have the green team, and that is chaired by Herb Brotspies, and we are looking to find ways to launch our efforts, and we're looking at April to be celebrating Earth Day. We did go over to St. Andrew's Estates because they're on the same journey, and they have a really great green team, and they provided some great suggestions. They shared their history, and so we came up with some ideas that we hope to also roll out. We've been speaking about the Claire Story area in the bistro, and that's where the skylight is. I want to let you know that we are going to be having a project after Easter and after Passover where we will actually close the squared area where the 2-story Claire Story is, or 3-story Claire area is, and we will be adding screening to the skylight because of the UV and the heat. We're having condensation. If you look up, you'll see some moldy spots, and that's a terrible word, mildew spots, as well as some paint that's chipping. So we're gonna fix the paint, fix the walls, and then we're gonna add screening to the skylight. But because it's not completely square, we have to build it up in that Clear Story area. And so we will have that area shut down for about a month We'll know more as we go into the project how quickly we can get it done. But we will probably use the winery as an area people can eat in during that project. And so we'll begin that project sometime in April, and we anticipate it will probably take about a month. We'll know more once we begin to build the screening. Any questions on that? Okay, and then you might have noticed that we've added speed tables along the perimeter road. We are still planning on seal coating the roadway, and we're adding new exterior signage along the loop road. I want to thank Steve Manton for his suggestion on adding the speed tables and also his persistence. So he was very persistent. He walks his dog. He sees many of us, me excluded, of course, speeding along the loop road, and it's a real problem. So whether or not people listen to us harping at the team member town hall meetings, I would share, please slow down. You have people walking the property. It's not worth potentially hurting yourself or others, but this will hopefully reduce all of our need to drive quickly around the loop road. That will slow us all down. We have two questions.
I also walk my dog around those areas, around the perimeter. And while I'm happy about the speed bumps, I don't see it working that well. I really don't. Also, the lights around the perimeter are never all on, ever, ever. They're either blinking or they're not. I've reported that to maintenance so many times. And the answer to me is they have to get a cherry picker. Okay, so instead of changing one at a time, why don't they change them all at one time and then work it from there?
Have you seen the price of bulbs?
No.
Just saying.
No.
You would not want us to change them all at one time.
Okay, well,
And they do burn out at different times. So
all the
we would
time.
be
In and out,
we would
in and
be
out, all the time.
adding a lot of expenses. Myra?
You talk about repaving the entire loop, which will blend in perfectly with the black on that. Is it possible to have that painted bright yellow?
I will ask the question. I'm sure we could do a better job of really enhancing those
'Cause
speed
I know they're
tables.
there, but I just jump right over them. Yeah, I don't pay attention
Okay,
because
thank
they
you.
don't stand out.
All right, thank you.
Speaking of the road there, I would just like to make note that on any number of occasions, there is a truck, whether it's the Mow Blow and Go guys or some other, and it's invariably on a curve, so that when you try to go around it, you cannot see if someone's coming at you. And the whole road is open, but they park right at the curve. And so if we could avoid that, it would be very helpful.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so moving along, I want to just quickly touch on the elevator modernization project. You'll notice that the elevator that was down over at Willowbrook Court, Oak Bridge Terrace is now up, and now we've shut the other one down to modernize the equipment for that elevator. That will go much quicker because many of the components are shared components for the two elevators. So the second elevator should go a lot quicker. And then that one will be open. Then we will shut one down for a week as we improve the interior space of those cabs. Open that one up. We anticipate a week for that, and then we'll go to the second elevator. and we will do the same. So we're going to improve the interior cabs as well once the mechanical parts are all replaced. Mary Lou? We had talked about delaying the interior. We've opted not to. We're going to go ahead and well, yeah, and we will hold the contractors responsible if they damage the interiors. Okay, and then once we're done with Willowbrook Court, we plan on going to C building. So we're actually going to be modernizing C building next, the 2 elevators, and then we'll likely go to B building, and then we'll finish up all the elevators in A building. So it's a process. A building has been modernized since they were built way back when already. So their equipment, some of their equipment is newer, and that's why we're going C first, B, and then A last. Okay, now the dreadful hallway that everyone keeps talking about. I just wanted to give you an update. On March 2nd, we will have a freezer, external freezer delivered. It will be in the parking lot between Willowbrook Court and A building, and then we will empty the freezers that are actually behind this wall. We're having condensation issues, and in order to fix it, we need to have an external trailer that is a freezer that we can move the food to. Then we have to actually pull these walk-in freezers out, reseal them, apply the proper insulation, put them back in place, and then we will finish this wall up. So we anticipate that we will be working on the hallway, let's see, sometime after the 16th of March, but we're going to actually start on May 2nd. So you're going to see a trailer in the parking lot. Part of the delay was that parking lot was being redone. Now that the actual parking lot is almost done, we have to add landscaping to that area, but the actual road work is done. We can now put that external freezer in that space. So we will get this repaired and completed very soon. He's going to bring a mic to you.
Speaking of the parking lot that has been completed, the car wash area, it's not set up. It hasn't been set up. Will it be?
It will be set up, yeah. Okay, so 2 other quick projects, and I have 16 more slides to go, so I'm going to try to be quick with these. Willowbrook Court and Oak Bridge Terrace, that project, we are working with Proctor Construction, and they have been identified to be the contractor of choice, and we are finalizing the ACA review. ACA means Agency for Healthcare Administration. That's the agency that reviews the plans. We hope to have those plans reviewed. Meanwhile, the architect is finalizing all of the plans, so the plumbing, the electric, the finishes, every single plan that's required to be submitted to the county. They're in the process of finishing that. They need about a month to finish it. Once that is completed, Proctor will price the project, and as long as they come within our budgeted guidelines, we will not go out for bid. But if they are higher, we might have to go out for bid. We envision this project costing so much, and we think we have a good estimate, but until the contractor tells us that's what it's going to cost, we have to wait. So a month, the architect will need a month to complete the plans. ACA will likely take 60 days to finalize their review. Once they finalize their review and we have the plans completed, then we will submit them to the county. And the county takes 4 to 6 months, but likely 4 months to review the plans. So with all that said, we're looking at probably September or October before the project starts. But as we get closer, once we have the final plans, we'll do a special presentation and share those plans, especially with those residents living in Oakbridge Terrace and Willowbrook Court, as well as our Health and Wellness Committee and the residents at large. So we'll share the plans when they're all final, and we can show you what that looks like. We've shown you some plans along the way, but we're getting near the end of those plans being finalized. So as soon as they're final, we will have a special meeting and we will share that with you as well. We have Sally in the back.
I'm wondering if the Proctor estimate that may or may not be accepted is going to include hurricane windows.
It is including hurricane windows, yes.
Not central air.
Not central air, correct. Okay, B building carpet and paint. We're waiting for the manufacturer to send us the samples. We met with a group of residents in B building, and we identified one pattern in particular that we liked. And then we talked about colors. There's going to be 3 different color choices for us to choose from. In addition, our interior decorator, who actually works for Axe, she's trying to get some samples of the hard floor finishes to show as well. So once we get those samples in our hands, we'll pull together the residents in B building, share the carpet samples and some of the hard finishes with the group, and then we'll identify what we're going to go with, and we'll get that project underway. So we do have the new electric vehicle station. On the right is the actual station, and that's in the B building parking lot. It is supposedly up and running, although a resident did try it and they did have some difficulty. So Ross is trying to iron out those details, but it should be ironed out very shortly. And your visitors can use it when they come. There is a charge for usage, and those charges are 0.25 cents per kilowatt. And when the charge is finished, the resident or the person who owns that car will receive a text that your charge is finished. Please move your car. If they leave their car unattended, after a grace period of 4 hours, they'll be charged $10 per hour while being parked there. So we want to encourage individuals not to park overnight because there is a stiff penalty in doing so. Okay, so can anyone tell me what that is? It's a jungle. That is our front entrance, and that actually I took this morning on my way in. That's on the left-hand side as you walk through the front, and it looks better in person, I think, but in the center is the waterfall. And so we have actually removed all the landscaping on the right-hand side, and we have a picture of what we hope the right and left side will look like. This is a computer-generated picture, so it's not going to be 100% exactly like this, but that gives you an idea of the new concept. We're removing the waterfalls and replacing it with rocks that look like a riverbed look, if you will, and some larger boulders and some really beautiful plants. So we hope that you'll enjoy the changes, and we feel like we need a new, fresh look. And so that's the concept that we're shooting for. The tree is staying. So, you know, I have to admit I'm kind of happy because I was one struggling with the removal of that tree, although it does create a lot of messiness as it sheds its leaves and flowers. So, but the tree is staying. The county will not let us take it out, so just FYI. Okay, and I just want to thank the culinary team and the culinary committee chaired by Mary Lou for the Valentine's Day and the Mardi Gras dinners. I think everyone really enjoyed their time, so we appreciate your efforts, and just wanted to say a big thank you. Axe Television, we already talked about. The week of May 11th, we're hoping to roll that out. We'll go door to door and give you your equipment, show you how to use it, and then we'll start to use the Axe Television channel. Director of Culinary and Nutrition Services position, we're still interviewing, and that is taking some time. Meanwhile, Jonathan Pinsker, our Regional Director of Culinary, has been stepping in. He's overseeing our department and working with the team. So I want to thank you for your patience, but also thank Jonathan for his service. We still have our security supervisor position open. We did hire someone, and that individual opted out. And so we're back in the hunt for a really good security supervisor. Now, Elliot just left, and he always wants to know how occupancy is. So our occupancy actually dipped, and you might expect that given that we have lost many people since January 1st. We've had some unfortunate passings this month and last month. So our occupancy has dipped to 92.7%. When you add individuals who are either committed or have signed the contract but not yet moved in, we're at 97.5%. And then the last slide, officially, we have Olympiacs on Tuesday of next week. We are going to Indian River. I just want to wish the team members best of luck. I know you're going to bring home the gold, and looking forward to seeing great things from our team members who are competing. I know Indian River is going to have a great lunch for us, so even if we don't bring home the gold, we'll have fun doing so, and we'll enjoy a great lunch. So thank you, Olympiac team members, for participating, and we look forward to sharing the results when we return. So with that, I just want to thank you for your time. If you have any other questions, suggestions, I'm happy to field those questions.
On the morning of February 9th, I called maintenance to say that my washing machine was broken. He said, we'll either fix it or call in an outside help. I then called during the week and nobody answered. On Saturday of that week, somebody showed up, said, yep, it's broken. We'll have to get somebody from GE. The following week, we got a call, someone's coming tomorrow. Tomorrow came, nobody came. This is almost the third week. I do not have a washing machine. My complaint is, why is there no communication? Nobody ever calls and says, we can't fix it this week, we have to go next week. We go and bother Marty every morning and say, what's up? She calls maintenance. I don't know what they speak about, but there's no communication. So I don't know if it's going to ever be fixed or my complaint is about the communications.
Okay, thank you. We will work on how we can better communicate in the maintenance department and especially with work orders. And meanwhile, we will follow up on your particular situation. Thank you.
I just have to second that. I also had a washing machine problem. It took Marty, it took me, and then when it was finally done, they didn't come at a time that I was going to be in the apartment. I had told them, and Marty had told them for me, that I would not be there that morning. I came back, I had no idea what was done. I also told them that I thought I might have a problem with mold. The following day, I received an email message that my call had been taken care of, no response as to what it was it mold, wasn't it mold? I think we really have a major problem with communications with maintenance.
Okay, thank you.
Could I just borrow this to say I think they are overloaded and they're short-staffed. And Ross is missing, and it all filters down from the top down. They cannot manage some of the stuff that they have. It's just too much without a full staff.
Right.
They're very willing, and when they come, they're very helpful. But it's difficult for them. And I think management really needs to look at that very carefully.
Okay, so you might recall before Vladimir came that that position was shared with maintenance and with IT, and then Vladimir came, and now we have a full-time position we're trying to fill. So the good news is we do have one position that's empty that we need to fill, which I think will help. But then, meanwhile, I think we just need to figure out how can we better communicate those ongoing appliance issues or whatever. If we're ordering parts, we need to do a better job of letting you know the status. So thank you for that. Ellen has a comment she wants to share. Here's a mic.
As far as maintenance goes, I have lived here for 14 years, and they have permission to go in or out of my apartment. And never, ever have I had any problem with maintenance because they know they have the key, they can walk in. I don't want to sit there and wait for them. So the best thing to do is let them come in, give them permission.
Okay.
Maintenance, any employee here is checked thoroughly by the police department or whomever to make sure there are no problems with them.
Okay, thank you. And then you had something you wanted to add.
Well, I have something I want to add, and this is regarding not culinary, but the way some of the residents treat. The way some of the residents treat the residents can be very nasty to the servers. Now, if we have a shortage of servers, that's the fault of the residents who don't know how to say please or thank you or this is not what I ordered. Would you please take it back? Instead, they really start getting very nasty to the servers. If I'm ever in the dining room and I hear it, believe me, I will interrupt and say, you don't talk to these kids that way. They get up at 6:30 in the morning, most likely. They are in school all day long. They have to be back here at 4:30 for 5 o'clock servings. Now they don't get out of the dining room because they're serving later because we have more people. They don't get out of here till 9 o'clock at night. Then they go home and they have 2 hours of homework. Think back when you were a teenager if you could have done this. And they have to be here serving because they need to have shown on their applications for college that they have done community service. And this is their community service. So please remember to say please. Smile at them and say thank you when they bring your meal. And don't shout at them if something's wrong because they take the order. They don't fill the order, the kitchen fills the order. And if there's a mistake, it's not the fault of the kids. They're walking back and forth for 5 hours. How would you like to do that? Yes, they're kids, but they do get tired also.
Okay, thank you, Ellen. All right, thank you.
So I hope I don't hear any more complaints about the residents being nasty.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you.
So I think that's full circle. We started with loving kindness, we end with loving kindness, and I think it's a reminder of all of us to try to be careful how we say things and, you know, what we say to people. It does matter, and I think loving kindness goes a long way. So thanks for starting us on that that topic, and thanks for ending us with that topic. So I appreciate that you came today, and I hope you have a great day ahead, and thanks again. Okay, thank you. I said thank you. Okay, okay. Okay, okay.